What's good, everybody? This is the F and Mad podcast with your host, DJ Punch.
And I'm the coolest motherfucker on the planet, Cool Ass Cam.
And as always, this episode and all episodes are brought to you by Innovative Culture. Make sure you follow Innovative Culture on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, the whole shabam boo at innovative.culture. Make sure you follow the podcast page as well at the F and Mad podcast. Make sure you follow me at I am DJ Punch. I got my boy Cool Ass Cam, man. Let them know where they can follow you at, bro.
Y'all can follow me Cool Ass Cam. Y'all know me, Instagram. Google that shit.
Look at the way he talks, man. Shit. He's cool as fuck.
All day, every day.
Check this out, bro. My birthday coming up, so I'm having some ideas of what I should do for my birthday. I've been kind of thinking about it a little bit, and it's on the 24th. I surround myself around cool people, I believe. You know what I mean? So I thought maybe I can gather some really cool people and maybe try shrooms for the first time.
Oh shit!
And I've never done shrooms like ever in my life, right?
He's speaking it into existence.
Right, I've heard stories about shrooms. I've heard people tell me about their shroom experiences. Nobody has been able to explain it to me to where I'm just totally turned off. I'm still interested. I still want to see what it's like.
Well, I feel like to each his own, bro. Like, you can't look at it like, all right, somebody gonna turn you off. You gotta look at it like everybody had their own personal experiences, but you gotta see what it's gonna do for you. That's all I'm gonna say. You know?
So you kind of gotta jump into it to find out what the fuck is gonna do for you.
Or else you'll never know. Jump into the great unknown.
Speaking of jumping into shit, I'm gonna jump into our guest, man. Check this out. I actually met this man when I hopped on the Hoop bus. DJ'd on that motherfucker, drove around LA. The whole city of LA, did a bunch of work. Did a bunch of work for the community. I really
write down his resume. Give it up.
Look, man. This dude's been around the world, to be honest with you. He does a vlog. He has a podcast. He's out here in these motherfucking streets, literally on this bus, driving that thing around. He has a lot of life experience based on what I've seen on Instagram and the small conversation I've had with him, working with him that one day. This dude was interesting as fuck. I had to bring him on. So I gotta shout out and introduce my boy Brandon Reese in the motherfucking building. What's up, man?
What's up, Buzz? Good to be here, man.
Hell yeah. I appreciate you for coming through, bro.
Dude, anytime. Fellow podcasters, jumping on other people's shows. That's what it's all about. And then,
hell yeah.
Connecting with you two, man, and love where we're going already with this, dude.
Hell yeah, bro. I was talking about shrooms earlier, you know what I mean? And you said you have some experiences with shrooms. What advice would you have for me? Because I'm kind of going around looking for advice.
I mean, it's all about your mindset. Your mindset, not just in the moment when you potentially may or may not do these things, but even before. You know, what are you looking to do? What are you looking to get out of these experiences? Right. And, you know, that's a big problem with a lot of things people don't do. You know, it's actually thinking before you do something. We all want to think with our gut and in the moment, but there's no problem with still assessing how you want to go about it. So with shrooms, it's like, hey, what am I trying to do with this? What do I want to get out of it? Am I going out there because I'm trying to try something new in life? Am I going out there because I want to change a mindset? Because, you know, these are a mind-altering substance. It's going to not just change, you know, it's going to change how you think. It's going to help you reframe, recheck yourself on what's happening, what's going on. I think it's one of the best resets you can do as an individual, not just for yourself, but people around you.
That's what I was going to say. You said earlier, mentioned the reset. Because that's kind of what I'm looking for in my life a little bit. I'm looking for a little bit of a reset. Mm-hmm. I want to kind of figure out where I'm at right now and figure out where I need to move from here. You know what I mean? I'm kind of looking for I don't want to say a light at the end of the tunnel, but I'm looking for like show me a little bit of a path or something. I gotta be able to look at it from another perspective.
It sounds more like an acid trip than a shroom trip.
So what am I doing the wrong drug here? What am I doing right now? Am I doing the wrong drug here? What should I be trying here?
I don't know. It depends on what you're trying to get into. You got to think about what you want for yourself. Mm-hmm. Because if your main objective is to, you know, come to terms with all of these things that you feel are in your heart, then, you know, shrooms might not do it. It might not be it. You might need something a little bit stronger.
Look, man, I used to be negative as fuck. So that used to be the scary thing to doing shrooms for me. Because I was like, if I'm already negative, I can't go into shrooms being negative. I already know that off top. Mm-hmm. I think that's gonna fuck me up. And
that should do that with no matter what you do. Any mind altering substance.
Yeah, but like weed, I could be upset and weed's it's not gonna fuck me up with weed.
But you're still gonna have a level of self-reflection that you can't have. Because even like weed does that for me, where I'm like, I need to do more of it. I would say people ask, "Oh, you do so?" I need to probably smoke more. To be honest with you, because it gives you that level of self-reflection, especially at the end of the day, for turning off to like, oh shit, I think I talked to this person, whether it could even be a family member or your friends, like, kind of talk to him like a piece of shit today. Like,
Yeah.
let me get on the phone later and say, hey, especially if it was like mom, like, hey, I'm sorry, I cut you off and may have been a piece of shit to you on the phone today. Because so that's what those things are so great at. We're disconnecting from them. And, like he said, it's like, hey, you want to write down, and I think that's the best way and the best experiences that I've taken the most out of, whether it's ayahuasca, DMT, mushrooms, or acid, LSD. It's like, let me sit down and say, why am I taking these things? Put an intention behind it. And then once you have all that stuff written out, because you've been doing it for a few months or a few weeks, to write down what you want to go through, you're really going to sort through those things. Those things are on your mind.
Okay.
And it says, like he says, bad trip, or you're going to go through stuff. That stuff's there. Whether that's a bit of your past you may have done or gone through or sifted through before, it might still be there, but you gotta, just because it doesn't come up all the time, doesn't mean it's not still there and something you haven't dealt with. So again,
and that should have come up.
I want to say to people still, don't try at home, but it's still not something that still can be prescribed and used by doctors. They are doing some cool stuff with it, and they are doing some cool research. Rick Doblin from MAPS, he's doing some really good stuff with MDMA and psilocybin mushrooms, especially for post-traumatic stress. Yeah. So giving it to a lot of soldiers.
I've seen people microdosing. I've heard a lot about that lately.
They'll take it while they work, and I think that's another thing. Like,
everybody can't handle things like that.
Piece by piece, exactly.
Everybody feel like they know their limit, right? But everybody don't know their limit.
But it does spark a certain amount of creativity, and there's ways to do it. And like I said, writing down, how did I have it when I took the 0.100 micrograms, whether with LSD or mushrooms at the office today? How much did I take? What did I feel? Did I get anything done, or was I able to actually get the creativity? If I work in a creative business, a job, is
it going to help me or is it going to hurt me in the long run?
See, that's like where we get stuck with like thinking with like general terms, help or hurt, because then it's like good or bad. Yeah. Or like my favorite when people use today is like, oh, you just got to have common sense. And I'm like, listen, everybody's got their own brand of common sense today.
Everybody
knows such thing as common sense.
The same level of discipline. You know what I'm saying?
There you go.
So when it comes down to it, it's like, somebody might like it way too much. Now you got this feeling that you don't want to shake and you want to keep having it all the time. When you may have reached your enlightenment point, but now you just missed it.
But that's a bigger problem right there. That's something, whether it's addiction or poor discipline, where it's like, is it the substance? Because I wouldn't use the term drug, because I think that gets looped in as well. Yeah. But even if we say, is it me or is it the drug?
I mean, I feel like things you're going to get from the pharmacy is a drug. So,
well, no, in terms of like we said with discipline, where it's like, what is this thing doing to me? Is it the drug itself, or is it my poor handling of, I'm irresponsible, I don't know when to shut off fun, and when
it has to do with people have addictive personalities, right? So if you have an addictive personality and you start getting into things like drugs, cigarettes, drinking, anything like that, that you have a higher chance of getting addicted to it. So it's not necessarily the substance that you're taking.
Poor willpower, or
we're trying to find the spice. We're trying to find the spice of life, which is balance, which is like that medium, and it's hard. I suffer from that as well, where I'm like, this week I'm just gonna be running with it, just going.
Look, I don't know who bro, but there's a lot of people that are not looking for fucking balance at this moment.
Some people feel like that is their balance. Yeah, they feel like that chaos is their balance, though.
Well, that's the only constant. People like to say change is the only constant, but I say reality, the universe is constant chaos. Right. That's what makes this happen. So if everything is chaos, everybody's trying to keep the balance going. Whether it's like that bar when you were trying to measure something and see if it's level. Reality is chaos. We're moving up and down like this. We're trying to get that bubble right in the middle. Yeah. It doesn't just stop one day. We're constantly got to fight for it. We constantly got to move with it. Right. Ebbs and flows. Oh shit, I just lost work. I don't got this today. Yeah. Pandemic happens. People act like pandemic's not normal. Like, no, you have this many people, not with 8 billion or something we got on the planet now, traveling back and forth, want to share supplies and resources across boundaries. And we're looking at now how many people didn't wash their hands, don't know how to keep themselves clean, don't shower every day. It's like, oh shit, we're some dirty people, as a planet, as a species.
Like, why do it have to take for this to happen for somebody to tell you to wash your hands?
But sometimes that's what it takes. That's that balance we're looking for. Sometimes nature says, hey, we let this thing get to that thing, and that's, I don't even want to get into conspirks.
You know what?
Listen, I'm going way too hard with other people on my show and the internet.
Hey man, listen, do it here.
No, what I'm saying is I don't know. I'm not ruling out the crazy things that could or potentially happen. But again, going on people's imagination and shying away from reality and science and fact, what we know, which is like, hey, let's test it. If you guys think something crazy happened, theory. Show some proof. Yep. We're open to proof. But if you're just going to sit there and say, oh, well, nothing's going to change, the world's a bad place. Like,
hypothetical.
You know what the problem is? The problem is there's a lot of people who won't, who will accept things without any proof. You know what I mean? And I think
especially with social media nowadays. Because that's the first news that everybody gets. You wake up in the morning, you jump on Instagram or Facebook. What are you gonna like? That's the first thing
I kind of base things on this, and I'm guilty of it all the time too. Where I look and it's maybe a lesser known or a lesser credited website or something like that. They'll post something on Instagram and it'll be like a story about somebody dying or something like that. If I look at that story versus one that has more likes than that one, the one that has more likes can be a spoof, total spoof. And the real story can be the truth or whatever. I'm going to believe the one that has more likes. That's the problem, I think. You know, and I'm guilty of it as well.
It's society.
Completely. No. I mean, that's any online marketing. You know, you guys trying to raise your show. I got my own show mixed in with a production company and this. And obviously, same thing. We're looking, you know, when you think about internet marketing, hey, let's hit up low CPM countries. Yeah. Cost per click's cheaper, likes per click's cheaper to get audience your way. So, I mean, that's what happens. And it's like, do I want to play into the system? Do I want to be making those ads that are going to actually be going after people in the United States who I know are listening to my shit or watching my stuff, you know, what I can see from metrics? Or do I want the cheap things to go after those things? Because again, that's just a bigger problem. And so it comes down to you as the individual to say, do I want to continue to feed the system and be a part of that system that says, oh, let me just get 10,000 likes from Trinidad, Tobago, Nigeria, Pakistan, India, Indonesia, when they may or may not ever either buy a product of mine or watch my stuff, subscribe to my stuff, be a key listener to my stuff. So it's like, you got to figure that out. And then at the same time, it takes a lot to change a system. And everybody just wants people to change the system. Just be like, someone else is going to do it today.
Oh, they think that shit's easy. That's the problem. A lot of people think that changing the system is easy.
Yeah. Everybody's so caught up in their ways already, you know? And the system has been what it is for so long to where you can't just expect people to just want to change their habits in one day or change their program in one day. Like,
we got real lazy in the U.S. You know, when the Cold War ended, it was just like, history's over. That's it. Our greatest foe, the enemy's dead. Life's over. Civil rights movement's over. Everything is just... You know, throw the salt over your left shoulder. It's gone.
I totally get what you're saying because that timeline makes sense. It's like the Cold War. It's like, what?
Things were tense as fuck.
Yeah. And you're thinking about spies and all.
This wall fell. I mean, our greatest enemy is not there anymore. We're the absolute superpower. No one questions it. This is that. We start putting our feelers out in the Middle East and in Africa. And then all of a sudden, wait, there's these people in Afghanistan, but they're Saudi Arabian, and they sent they hijacked this airplane to go into our building because we've been doing what in the Middle East, and we've been doing a lot of bad, rough other shit out there. And we're having, and wait, what is our military doing? And we still haven't even been able to pull the military back. I think last week, Bernie Sanders put together a proposal just to reduce the defense budget by 10%. Do you guys know what the defense budget is?
No, what is
$765 billion. Well,
some shit that would save the country.
We'll round up to $1 trillion. $1 trillion.
Well, who are we at war with right now?
No one.
That's the thing. So why do we need that type of budget?
Because they've manipulated people to think like, listen, we got to protect ourselves. And when all of a sudden it's like, oh wait, let's just even say what it is. We're stealing oil from Iraq. We're stealing minerals from Afghanistan. Yeah. Did you get your check for that? I didn't get my check. We didn't get all that recurring.
I need my hush money. Fuck that.
So it's like, well, listen, to protect the no bid contracts of all these these people who get very exclusive contracts from other people. Yeah. I don't get that. You don't get that. So why the fuck are we over there? You get a senator who gets that, and what is it? Only 23 people of 100. So again, people will say like, "Oh, you're a communist socialist." Like, listen. Democrats didn't even vote for that shit. They're just as guilty. Yeah. And then the Senate and the Congress, Ilhan Omar, this person who hates America because she's a black Muslim. It's like, whoa. Like, go back to your country. It's like, this woman has become a congressperson in our country. Yeah. And then she wants to bring back troops from Afghanistan. She put the bill and proposal there. I think it only got 93 out of 400 something votes.
Wasn't the goal to bring back the troops? Wasn't that like what he ran on. One of the main things he ran on.
Oh, it was.
The goal should
It
always
was
be to
like-
bring back the troops, though. You feel me? Like, why do you want your troops out in another foreign country at war all the time? Like, no matter what, the objective should be to get them back home.
Like I said, drain the swamp. It sells tickets.
Yeah.
But who's
Sam-
making money by them sitting overseas somewhere? You know what I'm saying?
All the
Very
companies supplying.
exclusive contracts. You know, again, where the military becomes
Somebody's
the machine,
profiting off
it
of this.
becomes the business, the enterprise. You know, that's where it started really like in Vietnam, where it was like, oh, we're over there. Well, we need the Burger King contracts. You need to
Yep.
send 1,000 furniture sofas over because we're living here now. We're basically stationed
Yep.
here, you know, occupying a country rather than actually liberating it. But then again, you know, we've been able to really spin the racket of, you know, taking that like idea of religion, that it's just this ever-ending battle of good and evil. It's never gonna, even when you die, we're gonna be battling Satan and God, and it just never ends. And that's wait, that's what we're basing reality off of.
That's
this
all right.
never-ending thing.
let me
And so
ask
we've
you-
done that with the military now, where it's like, oh, it's the game of Democrats, Republicans. Nothing ever changes. Everything gets good.
But I look at it like this, and look at all throughout our history from humanity. You always have two sides. You always have good and bad. You know, you look at
Well, they can make it a never-ending game that way.
no matter what you look at, right? You always have.
It's always seen that way.
You
regardless.
always have
no matter what the reality
good
is.
and evil. Everything is separated. You're always going to have some type of segregation between two sides, opposing opinions. You know, gang life. You got Bloods and Crips, things like that. You got the red and blue, like all of that. No matter what it relates to in
There's
life,
an
you're going to
opposing-
have the opposing opinions. So,
But right now, the opinions are the same. Politics really isn't different. Bernie Sanders isn't that far left. I would say he's a centrist compared to everybody else. You know, we're talking about socialist or communist leaders. People are like, oh, there's like Marxist, anti-fascist, anarchist in this country. I'm like, dog, which one of these people have power? I don't know any of them who have power
Yeah.
or swing power in this country. You know, I'm like, what are you talking about? Like,
They just say that way they can build their people's hatred for them.
well,
You know what I mean?
like you said, it's like it's the idea of
Propaganda.
having the two different sides. But again, it's such simple propaganda. You don't think that it would be swaying people, but it still fucking sways people. Brown people from this side of the hill or this side of the line are going to come over here and take away stuff from you, and it's like, wow, they're still hitting that, and it's still working, and it's still scaring white people.
it's always going to work because it's like you're still going to have people that are taught that from day one. You know, they have that instilled in them, and they're all.
Because it's the mindset of not excess. It's a mindset of like limitedness, like the limitedness, or I'm probably saying the word wrong. And so we're always thinking like, oh, scarcity mindset. Oh my God, I'm not going to have enough. And they tell me that we can't spend any money on people, but we got to spend it on war. And they can't give me health care, but it's like, wow, you guys are completely brainwashed.
Look at what just happened with the quarantine, right? Toilet paper. You can't find toilet paper anywhere, and everybody's going crazy.
For a while, you couldn't find it yet.
Alcohol, sanitizer, things like that, right? You can't find it anywhere. But now people are having these types of fights in the grocery store.
They're not smashed. they're again, like, just listen, life is not bad if you're in America, but at the same time, like, why is everything so unequal and unequal? You know, we go back to the Cold War thing. It's like when people say like, what happened with George Floyd? And it's like, yeah, we shouldn't be killing people because they used a counterfeit $20.
Yeah.
That's fucking wrong. We don't want to kill somebody for doing that.
Right.
But again, then it comes back to the police. Why are we militarizing our police departments? And then we're forcing these fucking cops who are getting paid 30, 50 grand a year to be, you know, psychiatrists, breaking up domestic disturbances, all this stuff. It's like, well, why don't we spend money on like having these social programs? And again, we're going to cut the money from that big defense budget, $70 billion to go back towards social programs. It's exactly what the Republicans said. Like, well, that's exactly what Bernie Sanders wants. He wants to, you know, give this money out to go to these programs to help people. So,
realistically, how much do you think out of that budget they really need? Because I don't even think it'd be a lot out of that budget.
well, you know what happened in these last stimuluses. Oh, we need to give $22 billion extra to the Defense Department. So they actually have expanded it during all this. So this is current.
Who's going to fight during the quarantine?
Well, Islamic terrorism. These brown people who believe something different, they're coming for you.
Okay, so
That's what they say, though.
You're not over there?
Can we talk about, let's go into Osama bin Laden, since we talked about the planes and all of that earlier, right? So
Oh, shit.
Funded by the CIA.
funded by the CIA, who used to be a former employee of the CIA, of the American government.
He's one of America's Employee of the Month for a few months running.
So
Back in the 80s.
how does somebody like that become the most wanted man by American people?
Well, because you send those buildings into the U.S.
But it was before that. He was already like a marked man before those planes went in. Before his videos that he put out with the demands and everything, it's like now we're already against him for some reason. Why does he turn against, the Americans after being an employee of an American?
Because he's still a human. And I think what a lot of...
Do you think somebody did something or treated him unfairly or something like that to make him even have a thought to, go back and say, I'm going to turn my people against you?
There's a really good book by Lawrence Wright called Looming Towers. Mm-hmm. And it really documents, if you want to call it extremism of Islam from its roots from this former Egyptian writer from the 60s and 70s who, or maybe even back in the 50s, I forgot his name. And then he came to the U.S. on a writing scholarship, and he was at a school and just watching, especially in that counterculture that started in the 50s and seeing people experiment with drugs and drinking. He was just like completely turned off, went back.
I got a question about that too. When we get
and just completely, he was like, the certain sect of Islam that was very, orthodox or religious. Like, this is the way, this is how it's got to be. And his writings eventually, really, really lifted and pumped up other people. Those people like Osama bin Laden. Yeah, while we're on there.
Yeah, there we go.
Hell yeah.
So all that stuff fueled and funneled all these people in these ideas, and so it helped him because we were using him to fight Russia. We knew he was a lunatic. Yeah. His family is one of the most wealthy families in Saudi Arabia. A lot of people don't know that, especially under construction jobs. Mm. The bin Laden family, like, massive ties to the royal family and everything. And even when
somebody that the American government will want to keep on their side,
not necessarily him, but like, it's just like where the system becomes too big. And what I studied was history at Syracuse when I was there. And one of the teachers, my focus was fascism, 1914, 1945 of Europe.
Okay.
So when we talk about the Nazism, she had an interesting theory that, they said was the kind of the new thing that they were studying and pushing on, is that when a system like that gets so big, and let's say even that's the problem in the United States right now, our systems are just so big, this bureaucracy that, one guy in the CIA says, we're funding the Mujahideen to fight the Russians, the Soviets back in the 80s. Yeah. We actually don't care that this guy's an extremist lunatic. He's helping us fight this idea of, economic and political and policy and philosophy that we don't like, that capitalism has to beat socialism and communism.
Right.
And so we don't care about the bottom line, which was this guy was nuts. Mm-hmm. He just was this, fanatic who actually jumped from country to country after he got thrown out of Afghanistan. Or after Afghanistan, he went to Sudan. Mm-hmm. He started pumping up Sudan, and he was bombing places, U.S. embassies in Kenya.
You're trying to cause revolutions. You're going around place to place, and you're trying to,
He's this guy that has unlimited told sums of money that's running around the world doing some stuff. And then, okay, well, now...
I think we got a lot of people in the world like that.
Well, yeah, look at us in this country now. Like,
that's what I mean.
We don't care.
Look at how people operate nowadays.
I mean, just look at the idea of literacy in our country, I mean, like, even people like to say, people listen to podcasts.
Right.
And even I think that's correlated to, I think only 30% of people in the U.S., and I would say only as a good or bad thing, it's like that there's 30% of the people in this country have a college degree, who have finished and got, from that AA up to the bachelor, to the post-grad degree. So, I even think that's correlated to people who listen to podcasts, where just only like 33% of Americans know about this. It's a great tool. People, you can listen to different shows and all these things. So, again, it's the big issue, or at least, this how I like try to highlight it and paint the picture of is, we have all these amazing technologies that are there to improve our lives and make things better. We want to get this thing to better today. Update. All right.
Yeah.
It did it. It restarted when I was sleeping, and made sure it did it when I couldn't use it.
We're so comfortable.
Yeah. But okay, hey guys, we need you all to update and this, and there's no button to press on us. It's just like, well, what about the brown people over here? And then, okay, well, white people aren't treating us fairly over here. And then it's like, there are so many things moving and happening, and we're expecting people to evolve and change the way technology is. So right now, it's just like hitting our head against a wooden wall.
Totally
it's like,
right.
get better, faster.
Yeah.
And we don't work that way.
No, because everybody lives a different 24 hours in their day, right? So
there's a lot of moving pieces.
Exactly.
The Earth's never been this way. Civilization's never happened this way. Whether you think it's real, the Matrix, or it's actually reality. It's never been this way before. Yeah. And right now we're always just moving constantly. In a
everything is a new
direction.
experience, man.
We're moving on a moving ball in outer space at 100,000 miles per hour.
But it's crazy because it's easier to put people into panic than it is to put people in that positive,
people at ease.
Yeah, ease state of mind.
I think people they knock government too much. It has a certain role. Think about green lights and red lights. We got enough people to agree subconsciously, like, stop sign. All right, go again.
Yeah.
Like, we actually, like, that is a small little rule in law to say that
they trained us to feel like that, though. It's like something you learn.
I wouldn't look at it as a bad thing. Training is just like, hey, we don't got lunatics like not wearing seatbelts, bolting through, going 90 to 75.
Some people do it though.
They do it, but at the same time, we don't have it as much. Where that's the great thing about traffic enforcement. Like, hey, there's some guy who had 7 or 8 of these getting behind the wheel of a car. Hey, we need to make sure people. What a great tool, police officers.
Yeah.
That is a great thing to stop people from doing those crazy things.
Yeah, but how do you do your job?
Well, how do we make sure that the guy who's going to stop people is not going to say, get the fuck back in the car, I'm gonna fucking shoot you. Like, we can't have that.
Yeah.
You want
and then at the same time, I'm gonna tell everybody too. It's about how you handle yourself in those situations. If you get stopped and you say like, hey, why the fuck are you fucking with me? Like those types of it's like, yeah, they got a problem to fucking deal with you now. I've had multiple situations where I felt like, yeah, I probably should have went to jail that night. I'm out, I'm obviously drunk, I'm getting the whole field test, everything. But because I handled myself accordingly and everything made sense, I was able to walk away and not have an issue. I didn't get harassed. Basically. I didn't get anything like that, So I tell people all the time, like when you say, oh, I got pulled over, they was giving me a hard time or they was fucking with me. It's like, no, how did you handle that situation? You got to reflect on yourself and think about how do you make yourself look in your appearance, and it always makes a difference. Yeah. No matter what, any situation, you could get pulled over. It'd be an accident. You could say, they say, oh, your tail light out, it don't be nothing wrong or whatever, but it's still, how do you handle yourself? Mm-hmm. I knew I was wrong.
That means a lot. I understand that because definitely you should kind of keep to the rule where if you fucked up, you might as well be cool about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you fucked up, but at the same time,
a lot of situations.
At the same time, it also takes the right cop to understand that, look, man, he knows he fucked up. You know what I mean? Let's handle business. Let's do what we got to do. I don't understand why that line can't be drawn because I know there's a lot of videos and shit where the person is like, hey, man, like, do proper procedure. I'm doing everything right and shit still goes wrong.
Right.
Well, getting a traffic ticket, like if you have ever lived paycheck to paycheck, and I think most of these cops have too, like, I don't, when I have lived that, it's like, I can't afford $160. Yeah. $160 this week. I'm counting day to day.
A parking ticket, man, or fuck your week
I got to make $100 just today to make sure.
You always got to look at the situation though, right? Like if I parked in a no parking zone, and I knew that it was a no parking zone. There's obviously signs and, paint or whatever. That obvious marks that's going to let you know. If I go inside somewhere and come back out and I got a ticket, I could be upset, but I got to be mad at myself because I'm like, I got caught slipping.
Agreed.
I've got enough parking tickets to know that now to where I can't get caught slipping like that.
Why is the ticket not $20? Why is it $160? Like
that's
when you know the
fact. It depends on where you at too. If you in an area where it's really cutthroat for that parking,
like, what if it costs more? Listen, what if I work here and I'm forced to park here on the street? Like, there's a problem. You know what I mean?
But that's in Missouri. Like, it's the same thing. I think the amount of people who have to go spend time in jail, which takes away from them going to work.
That's government.
And the fact that the inequality is so great that. What is it? The stats, like, 60% of Americans only got $400 in their bank account for a rainy day or something bad happens. Okay. So we're over here, like, funneling money from them. This is like, sounds like Robin Hood and the sheriff's going out just taxing people for this, and that. And those are like just little useless taxes. Again, penalize people. They have to know because, hey, listen, we have a system. Fire trucks got to be going here in case there is an emergency.
Yeah.
That's totally the case. But does that need to be the cost? Are we really trying to say...
Do we really need to spend that much on that?
Especially if we don't know that many people are like, well, listen, I got to go to jail now on the weekend. Listen,
for what?
That's $300. I was supposed to make $100 Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And I don't know how I'm going to I got to worry about foreclosure now. My kids can't even get their medication because it costs like 100x for insulin in this country. Half the country's on either diabetic or overweight. And it's like, wait. And then the healthcare system's trying not to promote.
Yeah.
Enough about
all of that. All of that.
All that shit.
And the conspiracy holes and the government and the problems.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a
Let's get
question.
the mushrooms and the positivity going again.
Let me ask you a question. I know you've traveled a lot. I always wanted to know this because I'm a person who does. I don't travel a lot, right? I've been to Mexico where my dad's from, and that's it. As far as out of the country, how do other people perceive Americans? Like when you go to other countries, and I know how your personality is. You're a very easygoing person, very approachable. But in general, like, how do you see other like people from other countries? How do they view Americans when you go visit other countries?
I mean, they love us. No matter if we've bombed their country or done this, they love America. And if they just cut the defense budget, gave the rest to Hollywood just to continue making cool culture for music.
Because they play all our movies and all our music over there and everything.
No one in China is going out creating some cool shit right now. All right, they're looking to say, wait.
What are they
in
doing
America?
And people over there still need to be entertained.
Think about Russia. I'm not knocking Russia, but they're like, from trends like just 20 years in the past, they're still wearing, highlighter, 90s windbreakers with like mullets hair. I mean, granted, I got one, but they're 20 years in the past trending wise. But if we just drop that in instead of worrying about spending all this money on defense and stuff, that coolness, that culture of America, like even like in the Middle East, I worked there. I ran a basketball academy there, and again, for me going there was one of the things like, you only get a certain bias or look about Arabs, the Middle East, and how it is. And first of all, it was a really great paying job coaching there when I was done playing. So it's like, I'm making more than I'm going to make playing. Yeah, no problem. I'm heading out there. And then I remember one of the girls I taught there, and she was 13 at the time, and she's like, Coach Brandon, this is before they got their phones out, and just like, do you know this thing, Coachella? Look at this music festival and this and that. And the girl with the burqa on is like, just listen, people don't hate you. I mean, if they know this place is the place where they think streets are paved with gold and cool things happen here nonstop, and Kim Kardashian goes here or Travis Scott's over here, like, you got nothing to worry about, all right? No other country yet has been able to define cool, and then also been the broadcasters and creators of the internet to get all this shit out there. Like, this is where it's happening, all right? Trump, you don't want to ban TikTok? Put $10 billion into a company that's going to make something better that Americans want to use.
He got it. Why not?
Well, he banned it today, but like at the same
time. But he got the money, so it's like, why not? Why not?
Somebody was trying to purchase it last minute, weren't they?
Microsoft was not going to purchase it entirely, but purchase the branches in the United States to run and operate those there. Oh, okay. So there you go for all you Bill Gates conspiracy guys. Now he's got your TikTok now. So
he in on it too, yo. I'm gonna say it.
The coolest shit I ever heard about Bill Gates is he has his house set up to where if you walk into a room, you have something on you that the room automatically changed to how comfortable. What makes you comfortable? Like the temperature of the room.
I need one of them. It's cool, man.
I need one of them.
What color is the room changing when you walk in that bitch?
It's gonna be like a forest. Yeah, it's gonna
be like a Brandon?
People gonna be singing and shit. It's gonna be like an old school Disney movie or something. You feel me? Like Zippity Doo Dah or some shit when I'm walking in. Yeah, all that, like the butterflies and the fucking all the animals out chirping and shit. That's gonna be me.
Gonna be a Disney movie. What
it's gonna be some good vibes, some positive fucking fun shit, happy shit.
Oh shit,
that's me.
Fuck, what you got?
It's gonna be the feeling, whatever. Like you said, it's gonna be smart enough to know what we're gonna hit with people when they walk in the room. We're having a party, and it depends on the music we're playing, of course. But I think even some techno, or even we're throwing some rap or hip hop, it's gonna be good dim red. It's party mode, right?
There you go.
Underground red light.
I like that.
We're throwing
everybody having a good time.
Yeah, and everybody's trying to get after it. We're underground, and we're gonna put the red light on that. This is the underground.
Yeah.
See, that's
red light district.
Some player shit.
That's a producer. You make music, or you host events, or you're shooting stuff. You got to know, like, I got to pick up a vibe right now.
Yeah.
How am I going to hit people with a vibe?
That red light is the vibe right there.
Yeah.
Listen,
ambiance.
Listen, you could have no other light, but if you have that red light, I think you'd be all right.
That's all you need, just one.
So yeah, man, people love Americans no matter what, wherever you go. And people have shown just disgusting levels of respect. And I think what I've gotten from traveling, and people look at me funny in America when I do it, because it's just like, someone comes in my home, it's like, hey, can I get you some food? What do you want to drink? We have this. Hey, man, check out this part of the house. Oh, there's a pool over here. Hey, help yourself. Hey, you need a place to sleep tonight? You can sleep on the couch.
Yeah.
It's like, what do you want from me?
Yeah.
What do you want? Guys, this idea of capitalism we have has deterred us from being open and being nice to people and loving, even if you're Christian, loving thy neighbor, helping those who do to those who do.
That's what our whole fucking economy has been built on.
But it so shies away from the good values that we have, and if we have such an excess here, such an excess that we don't share it with our fellow Americans, it's like, listen, just be nice to people, because again, you guys heard of couch surfing?
Yep.
A beautiful application. Someone's traveling, someone's coming through. I know, most of them are young kids, they need a place to stay. They can't afford. So even in Kuwait, I had people come through, they want to cross that country off the list because, not knocking Kuwait, but there's nothing to do there. And it's not Sharia law, but there ain't no drinking. There's drinking weeds illegal, so you got to go underground and do your thing there. But when people were traveling through, it's like, yeah, you crash on the couch. Yeah, I had a job at that time. Hey, this is the best restaurant in Kuwait. Let me take you there.
Hell
it wasn't fancy, but it was, it was good.
They putting you up on the good spots. Yeah.
I'm gonna treat those people whenever I'm in that situation. If you want to think, projecting positivity or energy, and I don't like that metaphysics, crystals, woo-woo.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you project that positivity. Like having that conversation with you today has led to a friendship and relationship, and jumping on your guys' show today, and
we appreciate it,
man. Positivity back
Definitely.
to other people, because again, that's what it's about. And if you can't live that life that you want to project, you're not doing it. And we're doing that with weapons and scaring people around the world, and even sanctions.
Our whole system is built on fear.
I think about the guy in Iran who can't get medical supplies in, who's got kidney dialysis, and now he can't get that stuff because we don't want them to use nuclear power. Again, they're probably going to build nuclear weapons. Let's just not beat around the bush. They're going to do that now. But now we are going to let that hinder them from getting some guy in a hospital, some supplies, who's going to die because he can't get kidney dialysis. What are we thinking about that entire picture, and thinking about that thing that may incite that gentleman right there and turn him into a radical, or what we can call radical? He's just a guy who's like, fuck, man, people are invading my country, not letting me live. I'm going to die anyways. I'm going to go blow these people up because I don't want them to do anything onto my people. And again, I'm not saying that's right, because people will say, and again, we're an American flag jumper too. Yeah. But they'll think this crazy conservatives.
You're just speaking on how you feel.
Not a communist, but it's empathy. How can I relate to the other person and try and understand how they feel and what's going through their mind?
But I think you've gained that from traveling.
Smoke.
I honestly listen.
See.
But I think you've gained that through traveling. I think you've gained that through meeting and meeting, having conversations with the different type of people. I know that I noticed something when I was on the hoop bus with you guys, and there was a lot of people on that bus that travel a lot. I met people who I follow on Instagram to this day, and I look, and one day they're in San Diego, and the next day they're in San Francisco. Next thing you know, they're in Israel, and it's like, what the fuck is going on here? And I didn't understand it. They were even having conversations on the bus, and they were basically saying what you're saying, where they were saying, oh, where are you staying at? Oh, you're staying here? Oh, look, I have a friend named Andy. He got a couch. Don't worry about it. You're taken care of for the night. You good on food? We're gonna eat. We're gonna cook over there, barbecue. And I'm like, I come from here, so for me to offer my house or even somebody else's house to anybody is weird, but so I felt uncomfortable at that moment. But with the conversation that I just had with you right now, it really opened my eyes, and it made me realize why they're like that. And it's because of what you said. Even when you were in the Middle East, you would have people come by and you would take them around, show them around, offer your house to them. You know what I mean?
If you can't do the same thing you would do when you're in excess and you're not struggling as much. Yeah. And I don't think I'm doing that great. I'm doing great in the past few weeks. I've luckily been able to work and get a manager. Shout out to my manager. He would be mad at me if I didn't shout him out.
Shout him out, hell yeah.
He's been yelling at me. Why are you shouting out management on social media? Shout out, Mike. Gotcha. That's been able really to help me, delegate what tasks I'm good at, what I'm not. But at the same time, back to what we're saying is that whether I'm doing good or not, it's just like I'd want someone to help me if I was in that situation. And I'm not asking. And again, you're not asking somebody to do something nice for you to get something back. It's just you just do something nice because that's life.
That's what you're supposed to do.
And if you want something back, enjoy that feeling it gives you to see someone get satisfaction.
Okay, so I got a question. So do you trust every situation, or do you pick and choose?
No, I'm too trusting. But at the same time, I'm walking down a dark alley and some dude's walking over there, walking down the street from me.
That's already a bad sign.
Cuban said, first of all, it's like you said, situational. When I've gotten mugged before, and I've gotten mugged in another country.
People would take advantage of situations, especially when you're too nice.
I had a few drinks. I was outside a party with a bunch of other expats, and it was 6 a.m. Some dude just looks at me and says, I said it in perfect English, I felt too. He was like some 16-year-old kid. This is in Santiago, Chile. Mm-hmm. What time is it? I whip my phone out and got a watch on. It's 6:33. Swipes it off me. He bolts off. Mm-hmm. And let's go into my physical thing. I am in great shape, and I was even in great shape then. Like, this dude, he's getting fucked up. So I turned.
He was already ready. You knew what time it was.
Just in a few steps, I caught him. I Homer Simpson tackle him to the ground, and I'm doing the Homer Bart Simpson thing, choking him like just. Give me the phone. If anything, I just wanted the photos back. If anything, he swiped the phone. It's like, fuck, that's why you buy insurance. You get a phone back and get
the phone. It was like, I want what's in the phone.
Listen, I was yelling at him in Spanish. Like, I just want what's on the phone. I just need the pictures.
You can take this shit when I'm done. Just, I'm whoop your ass first.
Not even. Like, you can take this. Like, we gotta get this. I'll take you to the ATM and I'll give you some cash. I don't know if I got these photos backed up. And then I feel two kids come. They throw me off. And now it was just two boys. Mm-hmm. And they are just kicking me, and he gets up. I thought he threw the phone too when I was on top of him. So I was like, oh no, they threw the phone. They're out of here. So I look back and I look for the phone after I'm like crawled into a ball because I got two other guys kicking me, and he takes off. And I get up, I look for the phone. I'm like, fuck, no, he didn't throw it. And I chase them. I turn a corner, and I turn another corner. Now I'm going down a dark alley. It's like,
and it's three of them.
There's three of them. This ain't my hood. Yeah. And it's just like,
this ain't your country.
How much farther? How much farther am I going to chase these guys? I was drunk, but I was.
You just wanted to have a conversation and said, "Hey man, let me get my pictures." I already know where you was going because I would have done the same thing.
So it was even better, to let off steam. I go to the police station and I'm just yelling like the typical white American traveler. Listen, guys, I know where they are. Let's go. And granted, I may have even had a beer in my hand, so I know where they are. Let's go get them. Bring your guns. We'll go shoot them. Like,
you made it sound like you had a whole bunch of people with you.
I'm grabbing the police officer.
Start getting loud.
I know the street corner. Like, listen, gringo, go home, man. You're lucky you can get stabbed
They're
or
over
shot.
There, guys.
Just go home. And so, again, I was just doing that for me at that point.
Yeah.
Here, fill out this piece of paper that we're never a police report. We're never going to look at. They probably burned it right when I left there. We're a fucking white guy.
Yeah,
but
they wouldn't no help.
It was is this a thing? It happens. It's again, like you said, to take off. What could I have learned from this? I left with my life. I left with that. Granted, wasn't in a position to lose a $400, $500 phone. That's going to hurt your pocketbook in the end.
And then pictures you can't get back.
They were saved on the cloud.
You good?
Okay.
But I was sitting on pins and needles until that point. Just
I
like,
feel that.
How am I going to get on Tinder? Luckily, I had a little Kindle Fire thing, so I could download Tinder there. So I was still okay.
Yeah.
I had my kidneys still intact and get stabbed. Hey,
that shit's real. To not get stabbed in Chile.
It was just stabbed anywhere,
I've heard of a lot of dark alleys in some countries.
You could get stabbed right around the corner.
And I still got laid from some girl on Tinder still. So I mean, we
it all worked out.
We brought that Kindle Fire that we were reading on that Grandma and Grandpa actually sent me money for the birthday to buy, and we spent it on that. So it ends up being a good win-win. You spend the money on the thing they wanted you to buy too.
Yeah. Bam.
Big day.
It all worked out.
Yeah.
Fuck it, I lost the phone.
And we got a great story for the show right there.
There it is, man. See?
You brought it to the FML podcast.
There it is, man. Listen, I have another question about, I know you've driven on the Who bus for a little bit, and you said that you've driven into the protests and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. How does it feel to go into the protests, especially how things are right now, where it's obviously a lot of people in a very confined area. I don't know, maybe there's a lot of opposing people there as well protesting, and you're just pulling in with a bus. Mm-hmm. First of all, when you drive in there, what are your intentions?
So a lot of people don't even know. Like before I hopped on the Hoop bus, I've gotten my own bus and I drove it from Utah all the way to Chile.
Yeah.
After that first trip to Chile.
Yeah.
We'll say I'll get into those. You asked me some crazy stories.
How long did that take?
That was a 10-month trip, but that was like my first thing, like life after basketball. I became that bus driver character.
That had to be fun, man. That had to be like.
So I have experience driving into rough places, in tough situations, and I think that has been giving me the versatility in business and making tough decisions, especially in production, whether it's shooting or deadlines. Oh, hey, we show up to Houston and we're trying to get there in time because there's Hurricane Harvey coming in and everything's shut down. So now we got to get the bus out of the port. Now I got to drive it to Miami. I got to stay within budget, which is $3,000 to get that bus shipped over from Miami to Cartagena at that point.
Damn.
I got 2 people from Reddit who quit their jobs to come live and work with us. Shout out to Patrick, Isaac, and then Max. You guys are the best. And then once we get it there, I need to link up with somebody in the Colombian military that can find me an auto garage to build all this stuff. So when it came down to Nick, the operator of Venice Basketball League, founder there, he and Elliot called me one day because I met them at the basketball league in the summertime. Say, yo, we want to buy a bus. I'm like, all right, straight shooter. When you want to buy it? What's your budget? When do you need it by? Well, we're going tomorrow to look at a bus. I'm like, all right, here's my day rate, this and that. All right, let's go. I'm a straight shooter. So you guys want to get something done? Like, I will help you get it done. And you get deadline time. No one works like me. It's like when I come out here, they're like, man, you work too hard. It's like, no, it's just the East Coast thing. East Coasters like, oh, you're an East Coast guy. It makes sense. Yeah. So when we, after we've had such great success with the Hoop Bus, Punch, you were there on the first day and, kind of just been like, hey, it's just bus that moves around and, can spark some positivity for, kind of like what I've done with my buses. Like whatever you want it to be, it's whatever you want it to be. If life is so good in terms of like we live in this world where we can kind of like just start the next chapter of our life tomorrow by taking a step in a direction. Yeah, it's amazing. So this bus is like, when I love the projects I work on, it's like, let's spark some whatever creativity or thing someone wants to do with that. So, when it happened, or with everything happening to George Floyd. And it was, it was an intense moment. And Nick had asked me the day, told me, he got it going to a bunch of different protests and that they were doing some protests downtown. I live close to downtown. So I met them at Limemer Park first. And usually if I'm on, my role is the bus driver. They need me to come on to not just drive this bus, but, I can drive it in hairpin, tight situations.
Hell yeah, I've seen it.
Downtown cities, 3-point turns, 40-footer. You gotta.
He's hit some fucking roads on his way down.
Damn.
You got some mental
down
map.
Through South America.
You got to know 40 feet backwards what that's like. So
Yeah.
Wait, that correlation right there, that's 7 feet. Okay. But your stomach still gets pulled up when you're making that turn. Oh, I can't clip that front end. We made it. So when we went to that protest, I wasn't driving the bus that day, but at the same time, this is a massive social and political unrest that we're experiencing right now. This is, what people don't realize all the time, and how I look at it with history. We're living in the history book right now. We're a part of it. Yeah. So what do you want the part of history that you're living in that people are going to read about, or the change that's going to happen, good or bad for people in the future, is how do you want to take part in that? And I probably follow politics way too close. As you saw, I'm listing off. I watch, one podcast. No, it's a YouTube show from The Hill, which is a big, more left-leaning political news media outlet. But they got a great YouTube series. It's a YouTube show. They got a beautiful studio and everything with a left and right correspondent. And watch Rising. Great program for anybody watching that. Great show that gets a double bias, 2 different polarizing biases. But when I went out there, it was like, listen, this is not my protest. I'm not going out there to protest political and social and racial inequality justice this yet. I'm bringing my camera, and how can I project and motivate and shut up and listen, because I probably talk too much, to what people are saying, what they're doing, what they're feeling. We don't like talking about our feelings in this country, but sometimes let's shut up and listen to somebody, what they have to say, how is life in the United States as an American for them? How is life in the United States as someone who doesn't have U.S. citizenship? And when you can sit there and talk and relay actually understand that. So when I went out that first day, it was kind of, I was driving the bus for some parts. It's like, let me sit back today. This is not my thing. This is not my protest to go post photos and do this. But, I'm going to bring my camera. I'm going to take photos. I'm going to take my drone. I got some really cool things, flying the drone right out in the bridge in front of City Hall. But, I'm not there to make money off that. I'm there to just, hey, how can I potentially give this to a filmmaker that can highlight voices of people who actually have a bigger say in who needs stuff done for them.
Definitely.
Right. So doing that day, it's an emotional day. You're on that bus and you're charging in on a line of cars. It's like, I mean, as a privileged white person's country, it's like, it's like we're riding into battle right now. Just like, police going to get upset. Is something that's going to happen? Is someone going to agitate who is really upset or mad and going to incite some violence that gets, police and protesters going? You don't know. And, it's
going out there with your own intentions and doing it for what you're doing it for.
And at the same time, just like, hey, anything can happen. Like, it's an intense emotional day for people.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that is the great part. And that is the First Amendment right, in the Bill of Rights, your right to, gather and protest. It's a unique individual right in this country. With COVID, it's sketchy. It's dangerous. People need to be wearing masks because, we still are trying to figure out this virus and we're trying to figure out how it passes. And we've gone from this thing to that thing. But at the same time, it's like, listen, motherfuckers, we don't know exactly how this thing is. Wear a mask, take care of yourself. Because people, who were upset of the shutdown were predominantly white people and conservatives, I don't discredit them. It's like, hey, these people's livelihood, their businesses. And I think that's the thing that, the miscommunication right now, where people are saying, well, I'm not racist. Well, you're racist. It's like, listen, everybody, and Dave Chappelle says this line really well in his stand-up, when I saw a bunch of white people suffering from opioid epidemic, from a pharmaceutical company throwing in all these different prescription pills all over the place, said, after talking about crack, I really don't care. In Dave Chappelle's voice possible. It's just like, and again, how can I listen to that and say like, oh wow, that's deep, right?
Yeah.
That's, to understand the crack epidemic, not living through it or seeing it or experiencing it is like, wow, that's a punch in the mouth right there. But, how can we understand something and then change it in that way? So, people got to shut up and listen. They got to take that stuff in. And these protests have been great. Most of the stuff for people on the left who are protesting police unrest have been wearing masks. I wish people who are, protesting state rights, who are, affecting their business, now white people are experiencing this pull and pain because of income inequality being so spread apart. And people saying that, well, it's not, it's like not racism. It's just ignorance that we're going through right now. That people, they don't hate black people or they don't hate white people. It's just this divide that's still there because they don't understand each other and they don't understand the struggle is almost at equality now where, that, hey, it's this class system and they tell us that we don't want socialism and communism. But if we have socialism and communism, we're just going to tell these people who have the most money, who's a very small amount, that we're going to take your money and pass it down to people there. And I don't think that's the answer. But at the same time, it's like, I don't even think people on conservative side who are poor understand that.
No.
They're like, no. They're telling us that we don't want to, they're trying to tell you that we don't want to take their money and pass it back to you. But won't that make me rich?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
It's like, I want to keep my money. You don't have no money.
There's enough supplies for me. There's enough for everybody to go around. We even have enough food to go around that we can't even give it to people, that we throw it out. It's like, whoa.
That shit's crazy, man. A lot of people don't think about that type of stuff. They're obviously just set in their ways. But like you said,
like the new quote, these colors don't run just from the facts, just from reality, from dealing with some real shit.
Exactly.
That's what we run from.
The real shit. Everybody runs from real shit because they're not ready to deal with reality. A lot of people aren't ready to deal with their own reality. So how do you expect them to deal with the reality that's outside of them? You know what I mean?
Deflecting away from other people is the easiest thing. We do that by giving tax cuts to the wealthy or saying we're going to give a little bit of money here. If all these conspiracy nuts, they're not wrong, but if they would just see that it's not that far-fetched, it's not like in this mythical world. Yes, we all know that Bill Clinton flew on this plane with this guy, Jeffrey Epstein, who made all this money doing how he made this money. He was, what's it called, blackmailing all these other rich and wealthy people and saying that they were sleeping with kids, and maybe they probably were sleeping with kids, and when you get enough money, all you guys want to start banging young girls. Yeah. So it's like, wait, what? This is what you guys want to do? And it's like, but that's real. It's not like you guys have to say it. We all know this. We all know this information. Yeah, it's public knowledge.
It's public knowledge.
Like, quit thinking that you guys have the tap on information and stuff. We all see it. We're all listening to it. Let's wait. Let's hear the evidence out. Let's put these people away in jail. Like, come on. If you don't trust the systems, like where people are like, well, the Democrats and Republicans are bad. And it's like, as much as I can't stand the Democrats for the idiots that they are, and they don't want change. You know, we're talking about the bill in Congress and all these Democrats who voted not to cut the military budget or even bring troops home from Afghanistan. Granted, we're in two fucking places. You know, what was I going to go to with there? Our Democrats. But it's... What's the point? Come on. Connect those synapses. You're there, Brandon.
Get them there.
You're going with them and they were not doing this right and doing that right. Or they're just being as bad. It's like, yeah, they don't do anything. It's like,
I think the biggest thing is like people of power that are wealthy. So the system, you know, you look at people who do have this opinion. It's like, why do people who have money, why are they able to get away with certain things that other people were doing, like 25, you know, to life for things like that, you know?
Like you said, with the $160 ticket we were talking about earlier.
Exactly.
They can afford a $160 ticket. You or I can't. It's going to be tough for us to get out of that hole. Yeah. And I got that point.
We talk about Jeffrey Epstein, who had a whole island to do things that people who are like trafficking, you know, over here, who are just going across the border or something like that are doing. And it's a whole different charge.
He got away with it in Palm Beach County that he was getting.
But you have all these other people of higher power, higher status with you, and they all getting away with it too.
That's the thing. It's like we live in a free country, but it's free depending on how big your pocketbook is.
Or, that's for sure.
or what? And again, it comes back down to the basic thing. And I always think like, most people don't understand this about themselves or our psychology of how we look at, you know, pop culture and advertising, marketing. It's never about how much you have. It's always scarcity. It's what you don't have.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, look at that guy in the commercial drinking the Bud Light Platinum right here. Couldn't help but do a fake plug there. Oh man, look, he's surrounded by women and this and that. He's having a good time. If I'm going to buy that, I'm going to have a good time. You don't associate it with like, oh wow, I really enjoy the taste of this thing. And I want to taste it, and I want to have a drink and a celebration with my friends or people.
You're selling the moment of having that in your moment, in your party.
And so it's always that we're never looking at stuff like, oh man, I have a lot. I'm really grateful. I'm showing gratitude to the thing. I got to wake up today. Today I'm going to go to sleep, and man, you know, I just lived a great life today. I mean, I did everything I wanted to do. I got so much done because, again, we don't even acknowledge how much shit we get done today. You guys are putting a radio show together. I'm sure you guys have done other stuff all day.
Dude, yeah.
I'm over here doing
a day job.
Went to a day job.
Yeah. So you're doing all this stuff.
Work on other projects.
But is that going to, again, that comes down to the individual. Are you guys satisfied with that? Is that going to be enough that makes me happy? Am I going to be able to go to sleep at night, close my eyes, and say,
that's my issue.
It's everybody. I mean, I suffer from that too. I've had massive anxiety. First of all, I got my family running around not treating COVID seriously in Florida, which is basically the epicenter of this virus on the world now.
Oh, it's going down in Florida.
They're out of control there, man. I mean, again, I'm a proud Floridian, a rep, you know. Just say, where are you from? From Florida.
How you feel about those Florida jokes, man? There's some pretty good Florida jokes out there.
Again, I thought I was getting away from Florida, but now the United States has become Florida. So now it's
no matter where you go, you're still in Florida.
It's Florida now.
That shadow is just over me right here. So you can't escape Florida, and now the United States has become a Florida. So yeah, man, we're some crazy nuts. You know, it was Alaska was that final frontier, and everybody said it's too fucking cold. I'm not fucking gonna go all the way there. As beautiful as it is, I'm not gonna chase my ass all the way there. But there's this place down here, and it's hot, and it's nice, and there's they got a beach, and we cut down all the jungle and the Everglades there, and the marshes. So wow, this is real nice. We can live here year round. And so all the crooks and everybody else, and all the wild, crazy people from the rest of the country who wanted to chase something came there. California, you have a bunch of people who are chasing their dreams, want to come all the way out here and make it, and that's the really good thing. A lot of cool people out here, cool in terms of like, everybody's trying to do something. And they're trying to really portray their value or their vision. With there, it's just a hustle, man. And then you got such a blend of people from around the world. You got Russians, you got everybody from the Caribbean, Haitian, Jamaican, Dominicans, Cubans. I mean, then you got South America, and then you got everybody else from the U.S. and where they're coming from. And it's just a real hosh-posh of just all these different cultures that are trying to blend together. And it's really multicultural, which is great growing up in. I got to meet so many people. I mean, like my high school was people from here and there and all these places. And yeah, it goes back into, I was lucky to be dropped into Florida is that place. And then also mom used to drop me off at the MLK Center in the projects to play basketball. I picked up basketball early, like at 6, where I was savantish, where I was like calling, like, listen, coach, it's a tie game. I'm going to roll the ball in. I'm going to get it. I'm going to make this shot. We're going to win the game. He's like, why is a 6-year-old telling me what he's about to do and calling the play?
Call that play.
And so it was back in the, that bitty basketball where they couldn't cross the 3-point line before. So buddy rolled it into me. I got it, hit a 3, and he's like, holy shit, I put this kid on my shoulders.
Yeah.
So I got to pick up that confidence. And then mom and dad believed in me enough already as a young kid to say, well, how do we surround this guy with people who are good at basketball? We're going to drop him off in the hood at the MLK Center. And also,
Smart.
Yeah.
In Florida, where like the home of the athlete.
Yeah, so again, where I was walking around projects at 9-10 years old, just thinking nothing of it. These are just people. They're not looking at the color of their skin.
But that's
or this
the
and
mentality that was bred into you, at a young age.
Not even, mom didn't drop me off there. It's just like, oh, these are the kids. We don't know anything about basketball. Even like
these kids know basketball.
Not even that. It's just like, oh, where can we get him where he's going to be challenged and playing hard? Because I was already playing against kids, going to a basketball camp. Oh, you're 7? We're not going to let you play here. And that was the good thing about mom, who was there all the time with the basketball and just taking me to places. It's like, yeah, she said it to me straight. We got the black and white personality. Like, you want to be good?
They're going to teach you how to be good.
You can't just play here with scoring 30 with these kids at 7 years old. You're going to play the 9 and 10-year-olds. You're going to play here.
We're going to test you and we're going to challenge you.
When I went to the hood and played my age, I still was rocking people. I was still.
I've seen him play. Fucking rocks people.
Oh, yeah. I got off a plane with the hoop bus.
Yeah.
Being in Florida, no sleep. I'm driving this thing and like, well, you guys want to play street ball? Fuck your street ball. We're going out here to win. I don't care who you are.
On some real
I'm
shit.
chucking you up full court. And I'll be on my chucks. Like, there's people look at me like, this guy's in chucks.
Cross you the fuck over.
I'm the Billy Hoyt of today. I'm going to roll up there.
White man can't jump.
What is it?
Hey, on some real shit. On some real shit, bro. On some real shit. I've seen this man play basketball, bro.
But you see how you're able to put all, like these are things you love. Like that hoop bus, this is going back to your childhood. You can say...
Yeah, I jumped into this character as a bus driver, and then, hey, we need a basketball playing bus driver. And,
what do you know?
But that's the whole message I want people to have.
You got a whole business off of that,
It's the thing I want people to learn and do. It's like, listen, you want your own thing? You want to put on people's stuff? Like, here's my logo. I put on my phone. Like, you can make phone cases.
That's so
but,
dope.
But it better be something that people want to listen to, and that's where the sales part comes in. If you don't got something that's hot, or you don't got something that's going to provide... We won't use the term hot.
It's entertainment.
Provide value.
Yeah.
Then people aren't going to listen to it. But if I'm going to come on and hop on my radio show because I said, hey, I've had such great stuff and I've had such great experiences, it might not have transcended into liquid wealth, we'll say, but, I enjoy the experiences. And yeah, I lose it sometimes. You might get mugged in a place, being nice to people or being too nice to you.
You got to stop being nice to everybody.
Nah.
No, man, listen. You got to chalk it up to the game sometimes.
Yeah.
Nah, because
sometimes you got to chalk it up to the game.
Hey.
Chalk it to the game.
Son, you might not be able to chalk it up after that experience sometimes because that person might be going for the kill. You can't always be that nice.
I mean, we're all going to die.
You got to anticipate.
We're all going to die one day, though, at the same time.
Yeah, but it's not because at the hands of another man because he want to get rich that day. It might not be your time.
Right now, that's a lot of us
you
are dying
robbing me,
right
you
now
ain't getting rich.
At the midst. Listen,
that's all I'm saying.
Listen, that's why I'm at that point where it's just like, listen, man, I don't carry cash.
Don't let nobody set you up for nothing.
You want to snag the card? I know when, I know where, and that's it.
Look, anybody that come into my life, I appreciate them, and especially for this experience. For you coming here, you taught me a lot of things about just the business side and the things you do. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people who watch the episode, they're going to get educated about a lot of the things you do as well.
Hope so.
So,
I want to spread that positive message out there, man.
You're a very positive person. You have great energy. Stop being so nice to every single person. Look, you got to look at people for face value, like we say, everybody's not gonna have your best interest at heart, and they're not gonna have their own best
That's
interest
why
at
management
heart.
now, where it's great, where it's like, oh, you guys want to work together?
That's
Here.
what your management is for. There we go.
That's what management. Shout out. You have
They
to
doing
do
the background check
Hey,
before
Mike,
they even
shout
get
out to
to
Mike.
you. They got to do
Shout
the
out to
background
Mike.
check. Exactly. So by the time they get to the point they get to you, you know they ain't one.
Business
They
is
clear.
handled. Now I could be nice to you.
Yeah.
They've
I like
cleared
that.
the whole check. So.
Listen, man, DJing. I've DJed a lot of clubs. He's always promoted. Basically, everything he's promoted, I've DJed, right? And we've gone through Hollywood together, all through Orange County, down to San Diego.
Downtown LA.
I would say
Anywhere.
he would be the closest thing to a manager because at the end of the night, Cam's gonna go get my money.
But that's
You know
the
what
thing.
I mean?
You need
As
that.
my
You
friend,
need that
yeah.
In any
I've
not
never
just
had
as
to
a
worry
business.
about it. Nothing. I've never
You
had to
need
worry
people
about
to have your best interests at heart, just like
Yeah, even
you know?
if you have to give them 7.5% or 5% or 10%.
Not even. It's just like people who
that's
really care about you.
management right there.
Well,
you know?
people,
I understand
people
that,
who
though.
really care about you. Now, when you get into the business aspects, then yeah, people making like thousands, millions of dollars, and you get into big contracts and shows. It's a big difference. But when somebody is like your friend, that's like your family, and you getting off the ground, and it's like they
Oh, yeah,
not
getting off the
ain't
ground,
nobody
just
making no
starting.
money like that, and
It's
you
just-
shouldn't expect nothing like that.
That's what I never understood with people, where it was just like, I've been, again, lucky. I've ran successful Kickstarter campaigns, raised money from the ground up for stuff. And then whenever I've had enough people believe in me, whether I'm full of shit or like I go out and execute and I do this stuff,
Yeah.
people believe in it and they want to help
because
and
you have a
support.
plan.
You have a track record as well.
But also,
When you show up, you have a plan and you explain it to people well.
when someone comes to me and they say, hey, here's my GoFundMe. Again, I was on the GoFundMe podcast of the Hoop Bus, and now I got people all around the world saying, hey, I need money here. I need money here. Then like, there's like, man, I really
Like you got all the money just to give
like I
them.
got the money, number one, or like number two, like I had to sift through and make sure your thing's not full of shit.
Yeah.
But whenever someone does come to me with that stuff, or is reposting or sharing or taking part in something, like, and then that's what I learned after I stopped playing ball and I got into content creation, entertainment, and it's like, oh, when I was a ball player, that was a struggling artist as well. You're trying to make it, you're trying to do your thing.
Yeah.
You're sleeping on couches here, you're playing for free here, doing this
But
there.
you got to keep your body conditioned too as an athlete.
Absolutely. And the body broke down.
Yeah.
But into the entertainment thing, it's like, oh, I've been a struggling artist. This is the same thing. You're trying to do it. So when someone comes to you and says, hey, I need help here. I want you to, can you share this here or do that there? And I just never understand when people can't do that for their friends or even their family members.
Yeah.
And you're just like, you can't press the share button right there. The algorithm
right there.
works. You can't put
Sometimes people just scroll right past it and don't even like it.
can't put $1 into the fund to help me to do this thing. $1? And it's just like, so when someone comes to me with that,
But you owe me $5 already. Like some shit like
but
that.
it's a scarcity mindset. And then when anybody comes to me with something, crowdfund me, I know I had a girl recently, Tyler Marie, and she works at DC Comics. She did a cool thing, but she wants to branch off and make her own movie. And she was doing that, raising money. It's not whether I put $5 in or not. Oh, only $5. It's listen, that $5 is going to go to something. That's something. That's a meal on set for somebody. But it's like doing it, resharing, giving a personal message about who that person is and why they want to do that. Like, it's so simple, it's so thoughtful, and it means so much to the person. And if you can't understand what that means, that you're doing it to feel like I have to do something, someone owes me something, like you're missing the point. The point is that I want to help somebody.
But they would do it for somebody they don't know.
There you go. And so as I said, like, you got a friend or family member that's doing shit, you got to support the homies. You got to support the people, your family. You got to, put $1 in at least. Showing them you've got a lot. Put a tip jar on the table, man.
real.
You're just like, yo.
It's going towards something, You got to know that it's going to benefit the operation.
Well, again, it's like, hey, you're going to go spend your money at this store. Like, even like most of my stuff, like it's thrift because it's like, hey, if you want to believe in the green initiative and helping the planet, I'm going to go buy thrift clothes shit because, I don't care if someone's wore it once or twice. I don't need to go to a store to pay $40 for something. I'm going to go pay $5 for the shorts. The shorts I got on, I got some, Keds, Chuck Taylor looking things here. Like, unless someone's sending me some basketball shoes, like, I don't need it. And it's not going to help the better cause and message.
Yep.
I'm not doing it because it makes me feel better. It's just, it's the right thing to do if you believe in these causes.
Exactly.
I'm not going to support the things that need support. I'm going to recycle stuff, and because that's what it is. But it's simple. People just got to remember, don't make it complicated.
Right.
The KISS thing they try and teach you, keep it simple,
Keep
stupid.
it simple, stupid. Yep.
Yeah, he's already been introduced to it.
Yeah.
Keep it simple, stupid. Well, man, with that being said, I appreciate you coming by, supporting us, bro. I know you didn't have to come here. You know what I mean?
Dude, I could sit here all night with you guys. He's about to throw me another beer. Man. You guys are signing off. How much more time we got?
Oh, man, we got, look, the reason why I'm signing off here is because I want a whole other episode when you explain your trip going down to South America, man.
Anytime, man. Anytime.
I think that's like a real dope experience. Man.
I need a whole episode
like.
on that. I also need your experience playing smub ball at Syracuse. I need to know what that was like, because, man, I know you're a hooper for real, man. I need to know. I need more information on that. So we're definitely gonna have you back, man.
Yeah.
Oh man, you guys are LA guys, so Dion Waiters, my roommate in college.
Oh, shit.
We hooped together. So I'll give you some Dion stories.
Hell yeah, bro. Well, shit, man. Like I said, I appreciate you.
Even though he's got more stories on me.
Look, if you want to shout anything out, if you want to go ahead and plug anything right now, bro, just go ahead and do it.
Absolutely, man. Thank you guys so much for having me on. Like I said, it's more of the honor to be asked and come on people's shows and again, connect with them and have interesting conversation and lightful conversation for people to take in whatever they want to take away. If you think we're fucking idiots or assholes, you can take that away, man. I'm not gonna hold that past you. If you want to disagree, we can have a conversation. If you want to learn how to get help, which I think the biggest thing is, use the fucking phone, man. You have people you can ask questions to, you can reach out to, and you can get free help from people you look up to or want to help you or want to do things you want to do. So, before I plug myself, get out there and do stuff that's going to help you today. Take a step in any direction that might be. It could be left, it could be right, up, down, it could be whatever you want it to be. That's the reality we live in. It's beautiful. Yeah, it might be tough from your background or who you are, even the color of your skin you are, the gender you are. It is tough. The battle for equality is, we're working on it. But in the meantime, start asking people who've done it, done the things you want to do, or gone the direction or in the direction you want to move to. They will help you. And if you want to check out all my stuff, I got Bus Driver Experience podcast. I talk to people who are way smarter than me. It was my re-education process after ball. I got to sit down and get all these people who do really cool things to talk to me, and I get to learn from what they do. Said, hey, there's this thing. Like, for example, Joe Rogan was inspiration for that. Whatever your opinion on Joe is, this guy gets to talk to the most interesting people.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely check
And it's
it.
like, I think I can do that. Like anything, we all think we can do it better. So check out my podcast. I talk with people from carnivores, professional athletes, porn stars, you name it, people doing cool, interesting things, listening to their stories, why they do it, and how they got, they took the step in the direction to do the things they want to do. And then I got a YouTube channel where I produce a video aspect about my guests. So whether I'm over on the Mexican side of the border, talking with people who specialize in human rights, painting murals along the border, who are advocating for human rights for people, who have no rights, who aren't Americans, who are Americans, whether we're going to underground cannabis farms or legal cannabis farms, learning about people in New York City, traveling around the world. There's some crazy shit there. There's a big, big world out there. And you can get some crazy ideas from that, or you can go take part in those crazy aspects. So that's the Bus Driver Experience everywhere. Brandon Reese 24 on the gram and everywhere else. And if you want to help, you want to interested, you want to collab, you want to do stuff, just like I said, it's just a message away.
Just a DM away.
That's what's up.
Hell yeah. Cool ass Cam, what you got?
Y'all know me. I'm the man with the plan, trying to get it while I can. We out here, man. Cool ass Cam. Y'all can Google that shit.
No. You got to tell them the 2 Z's, man, because I didn't know, and I want people to follow.
All right,
this
look.
Double Z, that's why I did this pre-show. I was like,
Y'all can find me at Cool Ass Cam. COOLAZZ CAM.
There you go.
Google that shit.
There you go.
I gotta say the whole thing, right?
There you go. Say
All
the whole
right.
thing.
Y'all already know. Whatever y'all want, content up there all day. I got, music from back in the day. I got, all the Instagram. We got everything from Innovative Culture up there. Y'all can follow Innovative Culture at innovative.culture. We on Instagram. We on Facebook. We on YouTube. We everywhere, man. We got so many projects coming up. We got all kind of shit dropping. We got more projects with Official Juice. We got
Look out for that cipher.
Yeah, that cipher. That's something hot. We got plenty more coming. So anybody need some work, y'all tap in with us. Y'all know we got it all day. Whatever y'all want to do, we here.
Yes, sir, man. You can follow me at I am DJ Punch on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, the host Shaban Boo, baby. Make sure you follow the podcast at the FMAD Podcast, like we said. Make sure you follow Innovative Culture at innovative.culture. If you need any podcast needs, make sure you hit us up. We got the space. We got the slots. Also, shout out to all our associated podcasts. Shout out to Chop It Up Barbershop Shit, I always fuck that up.
No, you got it right.
Here we go. Chop It Up Barbershop Talk. Shout out to them. Shout out to the Email Podcast. Shout out to Wax Podcast, the only DJ podcast I fuck with, bro. You know what I'm saying? We sessioning up in that motherfucker. Right. Shout out to them, man. Who else we shouting out? Shout out to Keep It 1,000 Podcast. Man, shout out to Small Circle of Friends Clothing. I see my boy Telly in the background over there. Shout out to Brandon Reese for coming through. Shout out to T Bizzle for being in the back. Shout out to my boy, man, look. I want to do it like a shout out to Rodney. Nah, man, he's not dead. He's good. Shout out to everybody that fucks with us, man. We out this bitch. Peace.
Peace.